one. Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means, the other one is just along for the ride, and the other one, is he sick? I don't know. We never know with James. How you doing, big dog?
I'm great. Both of us are getting back into the full swing of the school year, so the Rockies coverage hasn't been as high up on our priorities list, but here we are recording, so no one can complain.
And we just spent about 6 minutes trying to figure out what to talk about because we haven't been watching a lot of Rockies. I mean, a lot of people are watching a lot of Rockies. We're trying not to hit 100 losses. We're trying to just get ready for our adult lives, right? Adulting's hard. Being a functioning adult is exhausting. So we're trying to get all of this together. So bear with us, as we probably have no idea what we're doing right now. So if you have anything you want us to look into, we can dive into it together. We have some ideas, but if you are listening and you are live in the chat or whatever, go ahead and type it in there and just, hey, do this for us, and we'll do it. We'll do whatever you want, as long as Rockies related. Okay. So, I mean, how is life going? How's the back into the grind of it?
It's good. You know what? It's really nice to be back in my room. That's comforting to, after a whole summer away, living my dream, and now, you're back to reality. So there's a trade-off because I've got a great social life. I know people again, and but you're also understanding that, what I did this summer is like end game. I'd love to continue doing that. But I guess for me, the hottest race right now is the race to not 100, because the Rockies have played 135 games and they are sitting at 50 and 85. So to avoid 100 losses, they need to win
13
out of their last 27. So 13 and 14. Can they play 500 ball the last 2 weeks against what Patrick Lyons pointed out is the hardest remaining schedule in baseball? Yeah. What do you think, Aaron?
me and Mike did this exercise on Monday, just randomly, and I think I came up with 12 wins before the Marlins series. I didn't come to it. I couldn't find the 15 that we needed at that point. I don't see it, because you play the Dodgers at home at the end. You play them again. You play Baltimore this weekend. Padres are tough. You play the Cardinals, which are salty.
Yeah.
I think we have one series in there that we're even with. I don't know who it is, but I looked, I searched, I tried. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, and I mean, the way this season has gone hasn't really been what anyone wanted, and it didn't get off to the strongest start by any means with that opening day performance. And at one point, I believe the Rockies were 7-27. That was their low water mark before they went on a 7-game win streak, and everything felt amazing. They were never going to lose again, it felt like.
It was so much fun.
But yeah, compared to last year when this team lost 103 games, the fact that we're basically, it's going to be close to the same or better in a year that to me has felt like more of a struggle bus, pleasant surprise.
Right. I think that was going to be, that was my question as you were talking, is this, let's just call it a 100 loss season. Let's just do it. Is this 100 loss season easier to take than last year's?
I'd say so. I think the strides that we've made, I think Brenton Doyle himself has made it so much better and more watchable. But you have the emergence of Vodnik at the end of the bullpen. Blaylock, he might have struggled today, but all of a sudden he's an arm that can contribute. And you're Kyle Freeland. I know his ERA is still above 5, but at the start of the year it was like 40. So he has bounced back and looked really, really sharp. There's been good signs, and compared to a year ago, it feels like those signs are getting brighter as the year goes on, which is great momentum.
I mean, devil's advocate, the James here, do we worry about the Senza, Herman, Freeland in there? The three old heads, let's just call them what they are. They're getting older. They took essentially the year off. They had some setbacks. Cincy hasn't had a setback yet, but Herman a little bit. Unfortunately, that Freeland had the blisters in the arms and all his issues. Does that I don't know. For me, that kind of makes me a little nervous going into next year when we need starting pitching depth. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I'm a little nervous going into next year with the need for starting pitching, and the three that we need to be there are coming off major injuries.
sure.
In particular.
Yeah, Senzatella, he's been getting better. The rehabs continue to roll out. He was just in Hartford the other night. They think, and this is going back to when I was there, Bud said that September, maybe a bit earlier, would have been a surprise. And so as we record here on the 29th, it's looking like it will be September if they decide to bring him back. And we'll kind of talk about the roster shape up in a bit with them opening up a spot today on the roster. You look, next year is a critical year for Herman because it's the last year that he's under contract with the Rockies, I believe, unless they might have signed him to an extent. Now that I'm thinking, I think they signed him to an extension while he was hurt, which that I think that's in my head correctly. But
Mike's on it.
Regardless of if they signed him or not, it's a big year. The dude's now 2 straight years has ended the season on the injured list, and it's pretty hard to count this year considering he only made 2 starts before getting thrust back onto the injured list, and he didn't play at Coors Field.
Yeah, we did see Marquez in a home Rockies uniform, which is insane. He is signed through next year.
Okay.
He becomes a free agent at the end of 2025.
Yeah, so huge year for him.
Yeah. Which is good, right? Because, most people want to ball out on their contract year and get that next one. But, since Herman is 31 years old. Yeah, 29 in 100 days. So almost 30 years old, which is old. Like, he's been around for 6-7 years, right? And you got Freeland, who's 31. Senzatella, he's up here. He's how old is he? 29. He'll be 30 in the offseason. So, like, you have 3 30-year-olds coming off major injuries, pitching at altitude and all of that. So when starting pitching depth is a concern, like, it kind of has to be, right? Like,
yeah, no, you talk about, remember last year, the Rockies organizationally had Tommy John. It felt like a dude at every level went down with it, including guys like Senza, Gabe Hughes. When are we going to see him? But sure, Kyle Freeland this year, just last night, he surpassed Jeff Francis for the 3rd most inning pitched in franchise history, and he's got the 5th most wins in franchise history. That's a surprise because it feels like since 2018, it's been so up and down.
Yeah.
But here he is. He's still going, and there's always been concerns about Freeland's stuff because when you throw an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, you've got to be sharp with it. And to his credit, he's been able to do that. We only can hope that he's able to repeat that next year. But sure, it's hard for me to sit here and say that health is a red flag because I think it always is. You never know when guys are going to get hurt. But certainly the Rockies, more than most, need their best pitchers to be healthy at altitude.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. It feels like the Rockies just haven't prepared for starting pitching injuries as much as I would like to think they have. Last year we saw the plethora of arms, and like when you have to sign Urania at the beginning of the season, it makes you think like, all right, why weren't we looking at this in 2020, 2021, 2022, kind of building this up? And like the farm system was a disaster, like trying to prepare for that. And like you did have the 3-headed monster, and maybe you're trying to fill in with that. And then you have Gomber, who was on contract. And so maybe they weren't as bad as we kind of thought, but like you need just solid depth all the way through. And the Rockies have this in young pitching, right? Gonna put, again, playing devil's advocate, Carson Palmquist is very Kyle Freeland-esque. Sean Sullivan, very Kyle Freeland-esque. So like we're hoping these young prospects stuff plays at the next level where it doesn't have a lot of wiggle room, right? Like Carson Palmquist's 90-mile-per-hour is gonna, and all of his off-speed stuff is very similar to Kyle Freeland's. Sean Sullivan's same. And the strikeouts aren't quite there at their next level. Carson Palmquist not striking out as much in Albuquerque. Sullivan not so much in Double-A. So like, we kind of have to be aware of like what we're adding to it. Chase Dollander, he's gonna be a dog. Like he has the stuff to be knockout #1, #2 guy, right? But like once we're past those 3, we're scrambling.
Yeah, well, and real quick, I just want to stay on the topic of Dollander, your best buddy now.
Yeah, we're best buds. Off-season stuff, maybe. I don't know. He said it.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. Well, I don't know if you saw, but for the Reds today, Rhett Lauder, their pick in the 2023 draft, he went number 7 overall. Dollander went in 2023 number 9 overall. So just 2 picks later, Lauder today made his major league debut or got
He goes
called
tomorrow.
up.
He got called up today. I added him to my fantasy league. I need him to go off tomorrow. He's the 27th man or whatever for the doubleheader.
Gotcha. Well, and look, he's 22. Dollander is 23.
Yeah.
And I know that the Rockies want Dollander to really hone in on his command before he gets called up. In 108 innings for Lauder, he walked 24 dudes, and in so far this year, 102 innings for Dollander, he's walked 40. That is, it's an increase. 16 more walked batters for Dollander, but you're seeing guys get called up from last year's draft that were drafted in the same spot that the Rockies took Dollander, basically 2 picks apart. I know it's unlikely, but watching Dollander this year would be electric. And if it's not this year, then how early next year can he make it up?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that the other day. Blake Wright is dominating low A. I think he needs to move up and join his buddy Condon and Messina up in Spokane. Like Blake Wright is proving he doesn't need to be in low A. But like you got Dollander, but even when you get that call up, you can't really rely on him to be that consistent. Like even the Pirates and how they did Paul Skeens, right? Like it's kind of got to be the threshold of how you're handling somebody like Dollander. Short innings in the minors, very low pitch count. I don't think he pitched over 60 when he was in Indianapolis. And then he got the call up, build up, and then he was throwing 100 pitches pretty much every outing. But now they're starting to bring him back down. Like I don't think we're going to see a Paul Skeens go 85, 90 pitches the rest of the way. I can see a 6-day rest. Like they're going to save that arm a little bit. And so like when you have Chase Dollander, I feel like there's going to be those kind of gloves on him with it. I mean, your question was, when do we see him? I don't think we see him this year. I think
I'd be surprised.
It'd be just weird. They don't like to push him. They got Carson Palmquist. They again, go listen to Monday's pod for that. Like I think he is pushing for a 5th, 6th spot next up type thing in spring training next year. Because he is doing well in AA. Like his stats are freaking insane. His walk rate has gone down the more time he spent there. He's learning to pitch and just let his stuff eat and trust his stuff, which is what you want to see in your top prospect. Colorado's best pitching prospect ever. I don't know. Go look at Thomas Harding's article out there. Or no, that was an MILB article. So like that's all out there. So I don't know. Maybe, okay, here's my question to you. How many starts next year combined do we get out of a Carson Palmquist, Chase Dollander, and Sean Sullivan?
In the bigs?
Yeah, in 2025, how many starts do we get? I know it's kind of a hard thing to think about.
Yeah, I don't even know I'm trying to picture and set a line in my head.
So let's see.
You're splitting it up across 3 guys, and I know it wouldn't be even. You know, they're not all going to get 10, 15, or 20.
Perspective, Antonio Senzatella had 28 starts, 156 innings in 2021. And you're looking around 150, 180 innings from a starter. So looking at 30 starts for a full healthy starter, probably.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know. I have a ballpark in my head, and let me know how off it is from yours. But for those 3 guys, I was gonna go 40, but now I'd probably bring it up a little bit. But what were you thinking?
I don't know. I asked the question. I don't like, again, we have no idea what we're doing here, and I'm not coming in with ideas. I would, I was kind of looking at the Cincy. I would think 40. Paul Skeens, guess how many starts he's made this year? Just ballpark it.
14?
18.
Okay.
And so he'll probably end up with 23. He might have 5 more starts in the last month. 24 starts. And that was a late May call up, right?
Yeah.
So 45 starts.
I was going to say, A little bit more than 40 is what I'm thinking.
Let's
And
go.
we have to revisit this next year.
I'm putting the poll out. Let's do this real quick. How many?
I'll chirp while you make the poll. I we mentioned his name and didn't really stick with it, but just Charlie Condon so far, for those who haven't really seen what he's been up to. He's up to 69 at bats, a very nice 69 ABs. There with Spokane. He's only hitting 217 so far, striking out about 34% of the time. Might have to use a calculator to correct me on that, but roughly that. So not off to a blistering start, but I don't think Charlie Condon struggling through 60 at-bats is anything that anyone's seriously concerned about.
No, I saw somebody mention that they were working on some swing adjustments to make his swing a little bit quicker. And so that might be some of his learning moments, learning curves. I'm watching the Spokane Indians game. I think I missed his first at bat. Connor Stain's dealing, by the way. So if you do need some baseball in your life, go watch Connor Stain on MLB TV for the Spokane Indians. I just don't want to make sure I jinx him. And sit down. All right. Beautiful work by me. So not worried about Condon. Our boy Aaron Schunk went yard for the first time, which was dope. Dude, he crushed that.
Yeah, that was awesome to see. He yanked that inside heater and then got to turn to the dugout and kind of celebrate before he even got to first.
Yeah.
So far in August, he's 7 for 27, so 259 with 3 extra base hits, and that was after only recording 3 hits throughout July. So we're seeing growth and improvement from Shunky, and man, I know the guys love him. He's a great personality in the clubhouse, and you know what you're getting with his glove defensively. So if sometimes all you got to do is see one go out, and then all of a sudden the world opens up for you. So
and let's hope the people in charge let him kind of go along with it and don't tinker with it. Like so much of baseball is just feeling it, right? And these ball players, like, I have the swing, I'm locked in, let me go do that thing. And if you sit him, or if he doesn't get that chance to eat, like, it sometimes slow down a little bit. So hopefully he is able to continue to be that utility guy. He's played everywhere in the infield except for first base, but he could if you needed him to in a pinch. So, and he holds his own defensively.
Yeah.
So love that for a boy, Aaron Schunk. What else happened? B-Rod, 2 home runs today after an off day yesterday. So he regrouped very nicely, which he's on my fantasy baseball team trying to win the championship. So thank you, B-Rod, for that.
He goes nuclear against the Marlins. I'm gonna look up the.
Does he? I saw you put that in the group chat, and I was like, oh, well, maybe there's something there.
I gotta find the Rockies insider Patrick Lyons tweet, because it was like mind-boggling.
Like one of those, like, all right, it's the Miami Marlins, let's just go to town.
Yes, I've got to find it. But the dude's been raking. Did you see how close Drew Romo came to his first career home run today?
No, I missed it. I was in and out of the game today.
Double off the Bradich barrier and right.
Bradich continues to ruin my day every single day. Like, what are we doing, man? Let Drew Romo do his thing.
I've got that B-Rod stat. He entered today with the highest OPS of any player in Major League Baseball against the Marlins with 1209. And then today he hit 2 more homers.
That's insane.
So when the Marlins and Rockies talked about trading Edward Cabrera for B-Rod a couple of off seasons ago, that's why the Marlins love B-Rod.
Would you make that trade today?
Gosh, Cabrera really hasn't panned out like I thought he would, but with Amador,
we were all upset about it. Edwin, that trade not going through at the beginning of the season.
Yes, and
what, we could have had Edwin.
I was just about to say, I think I would make the trade with Amador waiting, or shoot, who's our boy? Yard goat, dude's been tearing it up. He got called up. Yeah, Ward.
Oh, Braden Ward.
He plays utility, right?
I would not trust him in the infield at a major league level.
I just love his energy.
Agree with that. His energy, he would go out there and say, "Yes, coach, I got you. I'll do the best I possibly can." But I think we would all trust that Braden Ward would not want to be in the infield at a major league level. He is an outfielder through and through, but he can do it in a pitch. That would be dope. Yeah, let's just let that happen, right? That'd be so. our boy Hunter Stovall. That'd be sick too. His glove work at second would be awesome. Got one answer. How many starts do the three-headed monster actually make in 2025? Pachyderm says 12. Pachyderm, you're crazy, man. It's got to be way more than 12.
We're taking the over on that.
I'm hammering the over on that. That would be insane if we only saw 12 starts from those three. I wonder what his breakdown would be. If you're listening, go give us the breakdown in that.
Yeah. Defend it.
Yeah. All right. So then what happened on the 27th? I went to bed and I saw just nonsense. What was it? Fourth time this year that the Rockies have blown a 4-run lead in the ninth or something ridiculous like that.
Ninth or later, and it was a modern era record.
Jesus. That's insane. And then the Pirates did it the next day. Like, it made it even worse. Their stat was nuts. It was like a 1,500-0 when the team was leading by that much, and the Pirates are like, hold my beer. I forget what that record was, but it was I think they were up like 5 or something.
Yeah,
it was close to what the Rockies had, but there's no team has blown that kind of lead. But like, were you watching at all on Tuesday night? Like with that?
I had watched the game on and off the route, and then I wasn't watching, and we lost. I was like, what just happened?
It just kind of was there, huh? Oh, that was the game that Charlie Blackmon and Ezekiel Tovar went back to back.
Yeah, and Chuck hit like his 9th longest home run that he's ever hit off the facade of the upper deck at Coors Field. So old man still got it.
Yeah, what is it? Fourth time in Rockies history, the Rockies led off with back-to-back home runs, and Charlie's been part of 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, Blackmon and Dahl in 18, Blackmon and Corey Dickerson, there's a name drop, in 2014, and then in 1996, EY Senior and Ellis Burks did it.
Jeez.
That's a fun little Rockies media stat there.
Yeah, they do such a good job with those stats. I'm looking at another one right now, and since June 1st, the Rockies have gone 6-10 against teams under 500 and 12-11 against teams above 500. This has kind of been a season-long trend for them.
Just where competition.
It's mind-boggling because this team is close to 500 against the best teams in the league, and yet under 500 teams seem to have their number. It's puzzling.
That is weird how teams kind of have those weird stats like that. And you got to imagine they're not thinking about that. You're like, or is it they are thinking about it, like, all right, the Padres are in town. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Let's just go kick their ass, which they did, which they like ruined their win streak or whatever. Like they did it.
Well, and it's to me, if it's that, it's encouraging for next year because shoot, all right, we're playing for something here. Like, let's tear these guys down. But then at the same time, it's against the bad teams. Is it a lack of focus? Like, I don't know. And I know the Rockies got to be searching for the same answers.
Right. Like
they don't want to lose these games.
Right. And we're not good enough to be lack of focus against the bad teams either. So that makes it, if that is the case, which I gotta believe it's not. It's gotta be just one of those weird anomalies for it. I mean, what is cheaper right now? The rock pile tickets in Colorado or any ticket in Chicago Southside? Imagine being a White Sox fan. Like, as whoever's listening, just like put yourself in the Southside Chicago in black and white. I think they're at 33 wins or something insane. Like,
I believe they're 34 and 101 through 135 games.
There's still a month left of games, and you've already lost 100. Like, what is the record? 122 losses, I think.
Maybe. It's just they've been the one team that every time I feel bad about the Rockies, I just look across the way, and they're historic.
They are historic bad. Like, I don't know if we are appreciating what's happening in Chicago right now. I don't even modern era. The most wins in the modern era, so since 1904, somehow that's modern, was 117 losses. But that's 53 games, 153 games. 119 losses. 2003, Yep, this is the one. Detroit Tigers 2003, 119 losses.
Gosh.
Chicago White Sox, you said they're at 101 losses, 104 losses.
Okay, yeah, they're even worse than I thought.
So they have to lose 15 more games. Like, that's going to happen. That has to happen, right?
I could, yeah, they'd have to be borderline. What, they'd have to be 10 and 20, 10 and 15 over 25 more games, probably. Oh no, there's 27. So
Yeah. They need 15 more losses.
yeah.
So they'd have to go above 500 to not get there. And we need to go above 500 to not get to 100. Like, we're in the same boat as the Chicago White Sox, trying to fight for most lost records or just 100 losses. So again, it could be worse. Purple fans, like, it could be way worse.
You think the front office is thinking that?
Yeah, that's the media spin zone. You're welcome, Dick Monfort. Like, that's the spin zone. The boys on Blake Street Banter said it could be worse. It could be Chicago. Like, at least we're not Chicago. Is that the tagline for the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it might have to be, but as soon as it gets to like December and we're ready for baseball to come back, we will all have the juices flowing again, counting down till April.
I am drinking that purple Kool-Aid for sure. Maybe that's a T-shirt. It's at least we're not Chicago. So, in purple and black. God, could you imagine that starting an uproar? That would be fun.
Yeah, that has bang potential.
A's and Pirates have definitely had some bad teams as well. Yes. Again, we could be the A's. Like, they're losing the franchise after being solid fans, and like what is the worst like baseball fandom right now?
Oh man, I mean,
it can't be Colorado, but like there's a few.
I feel like the Angels, after continuing to lose Trout.
Yep.
Well, shoot, and as he commented this, I look at the profile. He's totally at the A's ballpark. So Giovanni, I apologize if you're an A's fan.
Yeah, he's definitely up in it.
Your squad is about to move.
Yeah, like, could you imagine just bleeding purple and black forever in Colorado and Denver, and then the Dick just is like, you know what? We're gone. We're going to Salt Lake City.
I don't know.
With the way they're handling it too, like, there's no way.
That
would suck so much.
Well, and shoot, recently they had a game. It was a holiday weekend or something, but I saw a photo, and the A's ballpark, the Coliseum, had close to 30,000. It was a random thing, but just seeing the stadium look like that, I was like, wow, this is refreshing.
Yep. I think that was that the San Francisco Giants? I think it was the last Bay Series game between San Francisco and Oakland in Oakland.
So the fans weren't there for the A's.
That's the last possible chance that you're going to see those two head to head in Oakland. But yeah, it can be worse. It does get worse. All right. Anything else? Like, I feel like we're just going to start rambling. Is there really anything else worth a 30-minute mark? Battle of the Bay. Yep. Right. I was right. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, just looking ahead to the next week, the Rockies, they play the Orioles. That's what I know. So
do we win one at all?
Yeah, it's a good team. It's a good team, so the Rockies will play well.
I mean, I love that.
The numbers back it up.
Oh my gosh. All right. These giveaways. I've never seen this before. Maybe I'm just old and unaware, but there's a WWE pregame appearance. Superstars Braun Breaker and Ethan Page are going to be at the game tomorrow.
There you go.
I feel like, isn't Patrick Lyons he's a wrestling guy?
Yes, he is. I learned that.
He's probably going to love that. There are photo ops, Patrick. I know you're an all-time listener. So photo ops tomorrow, 4:45 to 5:15 up on the rooftop.
And Kevin Henry is also one of those guys too. He's also in that second row with us in media. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Shout out to the second row.
Yeah.
Batman ticket package on Saturday. So we're going to see a lot of Batman stuff going on. And then the first autograph Sunday on Sunday, the first there. And then, all right. So then after Orioles, so once we get into September 1st is our expansion of the rosters. Me and Mike made our
Ooh,
predictions last week. We play the Braves at the Braves the next 3 games after that.
what a
Who are
week.
your predictions of the next 2 call-ups? Which we said we actually talk about the move today, and then we didn't actually talk about it. All right, I'm back.
I
Let's end it
mean,
with this. Let me set it up. I'm back. Let me set it up. So today the Rockies had outrighted Antoine Kelly to the Albuquerque Isotopes, who he was signed as a traded waiver pickup in the middle of the season and has been with Albuquerque this whole season, but he was a 40-man pickup. So they outrighted him to Albuquerque, where there's now 39 spots on a 40-man roster. September call-ups are coming up. We get to add 2 players to the Major League roster on September 1st. It does happen September 1st. So on Monday, we should see more Colorado Rockies in the Colorado Rockies dugout. With that being said, who do you think they are adding to the 40-man? And then who are they adding to the 28-man roster on September 1st?
I mean, you know me, I'm like the worst with the 40-man
I know.
stuff.
That's why I wanted to ask you.
I hope that Jaden Hill is a Rocky for the last month, and the people need Zach Veen to be a Rocky. You want to draw fans to Coors Field for the last month? Get Zach Veen
I think
in the pinstripes.
I would agree with that. I was just reading. My call was Jaden Hill. Also, he was on the 7-day IL. 7-day IL. I'm looking at Thomas Harding's injury update. Hill was scheduled for a bullpen session on August 29th today. His first step since sustaining the injury on the 17th. So we don't know. The Rockies don't really worry too much. Again, go back to Ezequiel Tovar, injured, get the call up. Here you go. And then I think I said Zach Veen as well as the 40-man, as the outfielder too. So somebody's going to be dropped from the 40-man. We went through that last on Monday to make room, because you'd have to add both of them. Both of them are Rule 5 eligible too. That's the kicker here. So they have to be added to the 40-man to be saved from the Rule 5. And everything is just screaming Jaden Hill and Zach Veen, because they have to be, right?
Mike, get the graphics ready.
Yeah. Dewman's already got him ready. Hopefully he's got him ready, because his 4:00 mornings are no longer in existence, and Dewman's paying for it right now. So get those graphics ready. I think we're all on board with that. I think he said Yankiel Fernandez might get a call up instead of Zach Veen.
Shoot.
Is he?
I'm there for that too. That's kind of what I said earlier in the year, but Veen's back and healthy, and I need to see him at Coors Field.
Would you go back to see Zach debut?
Yeah, let me catch the right weekend flight, sure.
Yankiel Fernandez is not Rule 5 eligible, so he's got plenty of time.
Yeah, he probably won't be up there.
No options. He's got 3 options left. There's got to be something with how long he's been in since he was signed. Yeah, Zach Veen and Jaden Hill. Oh, Carson Palmquist is Rule 5 eligible this winter.
Get him up too. Get them all up.
That is brand new to me. I should have been better at that. I am switching that. I'm going Palmquist. Let's go 3. They're gonna drop one of the relievers. I don't know who, but one of the relievers in the barn right now get dropped, and we see a Carson Palmquist, Jaden Hill, and Zach Veen call up in September.
You have a reliever getting dropped over a veteran outfielder for Veen.
Yeah, you're right. I would imagine. I mean, I would imagine Hilliard or Cave, both fantastic guys, and both have done great, right, for the Colorado Rockies. But you got to imagine one of them get dropped.
Logistically thinking, those would be the 2 that came to my mind too. We won't predict that, but
yeah, your best bud Cave. We can't let that go. Yeah, that's a good call. One of those get dropped, and then I think, because you still need 3 spots, right? There's no way they let those 3 guys go to Rule 5.
No,
there's no way.
If they do, then BSB will riot.
We might become an Oakland A's podcast at that point. Yeah, there's no way. So yeah, you guys, JK, a outfielder, a reliever get cut, and then one of those 3 get called up. Heard it here first, with absolutely no inside information. So Dick, if you're listening, go ahead and make that happen for us so we actually are right. All right, we good?
Think so. That was a good show. Shout out to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, Gio, for hanging out. Thank you, Roy F. and Kent, for hanging out. And as always, go Rocks. Woo! I forgot where the button is every time. Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.